Hi everyone, it's Georgiana. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very happy, grateful to be here. Today I was thinking we would find a chair yoga practice where we could really ground ourselves, really stabilize ourselves, and maybe even find some new ways of being. I'm recording this in the energy of the new moon, so we can maybe even find some new ways of being that help us to feel more balanced, more in harmony with ourselves, one another, this earth. And so here we go. Whenever you're ready, you'll just let yourself breathe. You'll let yourself really notice what it feels like to breathe. So you could really take the breath in and experience it, and you'll really let yourself feel the breath out, and you'll really experience that as well. And you'll feel your feet so strong to the ground as you allow your breath to flow. So we feel rooted and grounded even as we notice the flows of the currents of our energy, our prana, our breath, our vital life force energy. I was thinking that we could reach the arms all the way up. We'll bring the palms together, and then here we'll bring the hands back to the heart. So feet strong, you'll lengthen up through your spine. You'll take a breath in to reach up, even look up, and then as you breathe out, you bring your hands right back to your heart. Maybe one more time. It's a big breath in and a big breath out. Beautiful. This time we'll inhale. To reach the arms up, you'll hook the thumbs and maybe even flutter the fingers like a little butterfly here. And then as you inhale, the butterfly, it just flies a little higher. And as you exhale, you'll arc to the right. And then inhale, center. Switch the hook of the thumbs. You'll arc to the left. Good. Inhale, center, switch the hook of the thumbs. Find your little lateral stretch. Inhale, center, switch the hook of the thumbs. Find your lateral stretch. Good. This time, inhale, center, lift your heart and your tail, look up. That will just help you open your throat up. And then as you breathe out, if it's okay with the body, it's a big swan dive down. You hinge at the hips. Your belly will rest on your lap, and you hold opposite elbows as you let your head hang heavy. This is a seated forward fold. You'll just let yourself be and breathe here. If this doesn't feel useful or if it causes you to feel dizzy, you just let yourself sit up and breathe. Otherwise, you'll let the head grow even heavier. Whenever you're ready to come up, bring your hands to your hips, engage your tummy, inhale with a flat back. And as you exhale, you'll just set the palms to the lap. Maybe palms face up could be nice. As the palms are face up, the soles of the feet really root down and your belly is soft here. Let's practice this way of breathing where we can really feel the expansion as we breathe in and a little contraction as we breathe out. This is called balloon breath. And so as you breathe in, you feel your belly getting bigger, like a balloon filling up with air. And then as you breathe out, you gently draw your navel to your spine, and that balloon, it just gets a little bit smaller. So we just notice here the balloon get bigger. With the breath in, the lungs fill up, and that balloon, it gets a little smaller. It deflates as we breathe out, and gently draw the belly button to the spine. Good. One more. Beautiful. Okay, let's see if we can incorporate this way of breathing as we continue on. So, as you inhale, reach your arms all the way up, look up, bring the palms together. As you exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe this time you round your spine like a cat pose. So you scoop your tailbone under and you look to your belly button. So the breath in stretches the spine towards straight. You look up and reach up, and then maybe the heart lifts up for a seated back bend. As you breathe out, stretch the spine now towards straight, hands to the heart, and then coil inwards. The chin even gently tucks. Maybe there's one more. Just here, noticing a little cow spine, a little cat spine. Good job. And then as you inhale, stretch the spine towards straight, reach up, look up, hook the thumbs. Stay for the exhale, just soften. The breath in, that butterfly flies a little higher. The breath out, you arc to the right. This time, let's just stay here. So we'll keep the breath flowing. You could look up underneath the top armpit. You could look down to the right off to the ground. You might stay here, or you might bring right hand to right hip. Left bicep reaches long by left ear. You might wiggle fingers. You could roll the top wrists. You could even draw circles through space with the top arm. You could draw the circles in one direction. You could draw the circles in the other direction. Let your bottom right ear grow heavy to that right shoulder. And then as you inhale, stretch your spine towards straight, look up, bring the palms together. As you exhale, it's a big swan dive down. We'll hinge at the hips. It's the seated forward fold. You could hold opposite elbows, or you could even wrap your arms behind the legs and give the legs a little hug as you fold inwards. Let your head be heavy here. And just breathe. Feet strong, hands to your hips. Inhale to rise with a flat back. As you exhale, let's let the hands rest, palms face up at the lap. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your bottom in your chair. Let your belly be soft. You could even soften your jaw. Let's breathe. We'll practice that balloon breath that we practiced, but now maybe we'll inhale for a count of 4. And we can also exhale for a count of 5. So the out breath is just extended. It's a little bit longer than the breath in. Whenever you're ready, take a big breath in, sinuses permitting, through the nose. A big breath out through your mouth. We let it go. When you're ready, breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and we also breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll just breathe in. And you'll just breathe out. Just a breath in. And it's just a breath out. This time, inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Bring the palms together. Hook the thumbs the unusual way. Stay for the exhale. Just soften the shoulders down. The breath in, the fingertips lift higher. The breath out, we arc to the left. So the feet are very strong to the ground, and your sitting bones are very strong in your chair. Even that right sitting bone anchors down as we stretch laterally through the right side body. You see what's good for the neck. Wherever you like to gaze, you'll find. And then maybe left hand to left hip, and the right arm continues to reach up and over. You can wiggle fingers with the top hand. You could roll the ankle. We could roll the wrist, or even flick the fingers, or even draw circles through space with the top right arm as the bottom left ear grows heavy to the bottom shoulder. And we just draw circles with the top arm in one direction and in the other. And then whenever that feels like enough, you inhale, ease your way back to center. You reach up, you look up, bring the palms together. And then this time as you breathe out, it's that big swan dive down. Feet strong, legs strong. You hinge at the hips. You either hold opposite elbows in front of the legs or wrap arms behind the legs. And your head can grow even heavier. Some of us will stay here. Some of us, we might even interlace fingers behind the low back. Maybe we reach the knuckles all the way up and over, only if that feels right for your body. A big breath out here could feel so nice. And then every time we breathe out, we notice how we can soften. Whenever it's time to come out of the pose, you unwind the fingers, hands to the hips, just like we practiced. Feet strong, legs strong, tummy is even strong as you inhale to rise with a flat back, and you exhale just to soften the hands to the lap. You could soften the jaw, you could even soften your gaze, and we'll just breathe. A slow, deep breath can feel so grounding, so soothing, maybe even so stabilizing. This could feel perfect for you. Maybe you just take a break here and breathe with awareness. Breathe with the awareness of you. So you feel your feet on the ground. You notice your belly. You feel the breath in your body. And you let yourself breathe slowly and deeply. And then some of us, we like to maybe breathe a little bit faster. And there's this way of breathing where we could pick up the breath. We could breathe maybe a little bit quicker than usual. And so if you like, you'll take your hands to interlace behind your skull and draw the elbows wide. And you'll just practice a big breath out through the mouth. Almost like a doggy pant if you like. The breath can come out through the mouth or the nose. Let's just practice. So the in-breath is very passive, the out-breath more forceful. If you like, we can also twist. So feet strong, legs strong, your sitting bones are rooted, the spine is very flexible. And so we can twist from one side to the other, and then every time you twist, it's the breath out. We'll just be here. So if you ever like to take a break, you let yourself take a break. Otherwise, you just notice what it feels like to draw a belly button towards spine every big breath out you take. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You'll slow it down. And then you'll find stillness right back at center, maybe palms face down on the lap. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And then let yourself breathe out. And we'll just notice. You can soften your eyes if you like. You can even soften your belly. As you inhale, you sit up a little taller. As you exhale, let's take a twist. That same twist, we'll find it to the right, except this time we'll stay twisted up. And so feet are strong, sitting bones strong. You look over the back right shoulder. And here you can nod your head yes and no. And then you might stay looking over the back right shoulder. We feel this rotation through the spine, even the cervical spine, the neck gets a little stretch. You could also look over the front left shoulder. And maybe you nod yes and no. Yes and no. Beautiful, everyone. Take a breath in to come back to center. Let's just let ourselves land. I've got my hands on my belly. You might find rest there or any place that feels good for you. Find some slow, deep breaths here first. Slow, deep breaths can be very stabilizing if you feel off balance. If you feel scattered, maybe you have just given your energy to a lot of people, or you have to take care of a lot of others. And so now is this sweet time where we get to call all that energy back to the self. Some of us stay here breathing deeply. Some of us, we pick it up a little. You could interlace fingers behind the skull. Elbows are wide, feet are rooted, spine is flexible. We find the little twist. And then if you like the breathing exercise, the breath of fire, it's just a big breath out. Either through the nose or the mouth. These breathing exercises can be, especially when we speed it up, they can be really useful in deep release, in powerfully letting go of the exhalation. We're also able to connect to release and letting go of what no longer serves us. So we're just here with the body, with the breath. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You slow it on down. Bring palms face down. Sit up tall. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and then let yourself breathe out. Let's just be here. Just noticing now. Noticing perhaps the flow that's here now, the flow of the breath, or perhaps any release of stagnation. As you inhale, you sit a little taller. As you exhale, you just take a little twist to the left. I've brought my front right hand just to my outer left knee or even thigh. And then maybe the back hand sets at your back left hip or the back of your chair. And so you're able, if it's okay, just to look over the back left shoulder. And then maybe you notice the right side of your neck. And we just nod yes and no. We just nod yes and no. We notice the boundaries of the body. So what feels aligned, what feels useful, and then what does not. And then we can also look over the front right shoulder. And we nod yes and no. We can find so much expansion and energetic freedom in these postures and also in letting these postures go. So as you inhale, you come back to center. Phew. And you breathe deeply and you exhale and you just allow the body to soften. And then maybe you notice sensations, tingles, vibrations. And here, if you like, you can take your hands to pat the feet, the legs, just if there was anything stagnant. I know we've done so much with the upper body today. I know that some people who enjoy my videos, their knees have been hurting. So I was like, let's take a little break And we'll let the knees, maybe the lower half of the body rest, but like we can still feel energy even through rest. And we'll notice that now. So whenever the pat, pat, pat feels like enough, you just let the hands rest back to the lap. You let the spine lengthen upwards. And you can even let your back body soften back if you like. You can scoot your hips back to rest. Or if you have a little pillow behind you, you can rest your back body upon your pillow. If you're at a desk or table, you might even let your head rest on the table. So you see like, wow, how can I feel like I'm able to take a little break and take this time for myself to go inwards and to settle my energy so that I may be calm and stable. And then even in stillness, we're able to remain connected to the self. So you'll soften your gaze so that you can really see yourself. And in this last part of our time together, we're going to rest. And I'll even give you like all the time, the space, the permission to just rest on your own, to just feel you and rest with you. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just count us down from 10. Sometimes just a little countdown can feel very soothing. And so I'll just ease us into this time where we can just be, where we might witness ourselves in quiet stillness and peace. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I recommend you allow yourself to rest for as long as you're able. Here is where I'll say goodbye. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I bow to you in gratitude. Peace.